Hi folks, and welcome. We're on the BSR. This is the A13 BSR or double A13. Just come down a bit. There we go. Zoom in and I'll show you what the issue is. Right. Right, basically let's get my pointing stick. This one will do. Right, basically move all these springs a minute. I'll explain about them in a minute. Right, basically when you play 7-inch singles on this, it won't auto size the record. It won't auto detect the size. And the reason for this, I thought there was a plastic bit broke off the bottom there, but it's not. And what happens is, as the mechanism runs, this piece here moves back, because this piece does absolutely nothing at the moment. It moves back, and what it's supposed to do is flick that up, flick that pin up, and basically what we'll do, we'll go through the cycle. So if I turn the gear, I have to hold the raise and lower pin up a little bit. See that move then, but there's no spring or anything on that. That relies totally on this. See, that's supposed to go up, but it won't. And that is then supposed to be flicked back by this. This is supposed to be flicked back by that. Now what the issue is, I found last night, I've just got to it today, I found last night that through this hole here there should be a spring. Just your ordinary run of the mill piece of spring like that. And it's supposed to be connected around this pin here. Now the spring was actually snapped. I haven't found the missing bit, but the spring was definitely snapped, because you could see where it went through and it was snapped. So that's why this is not working. That's why I changed the deck in that Ultra. But I'm leaving that deck in that Ultra. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this part off here, because I need to take this off, because I need to get this off so that I can get a spring into it. Now this is a bit fucking fiddly to put back on, but it has to come off, needless to say. There we go. Let's take that spring out, put that there. Now what I need to do now is now I've got this loose, I need to now make a spring, and I'm not going to be able to make one exactly as BSR managed to make one. Probably make one stronger than they made. Let's see what we've got here. I think that's part of the original. I'm not sure. There's that many bits of spring on here. What I need to do is find a spring that's long enough that I don't really care about, that I'm probably not going to use, so I can snip the end off. Now it doesn't have any, it needs to be fairly strong, not too strong, but fairly strong, so that it will push the lever up. I mean, it doesn't take much force to push that, and I reckon this is the one. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to find me tools that I need. Where's my frigging pliers? There they are. What I'm going to do, I'm going to uncoil just one of them will do. I'm going to uncoil that like that, because then we can cut it to length then, you see. Just uncoil that, because it doesn't have to be exactly as it was made. As long as it pokes through there and does the job, it will do. I'm going to super glue the fucker in anyway, but I want this as straight as I can possibly get it. There we go. And that's supposed to go through, and that's right. It's supposed to go through there and then go around that pin there. Well, I might not be able to get it round that pin, but I'm going to try put a loop in it. I'll take a bit more off so I've got some to play with. There we go. Now, there we go. We now have our nice piece of spring. So what we'll do, we'll get our cutters. Watch it go flying across the... I'm going to hold this end, because that end there with the coil on I don't really care about. There we are. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to find me curly pliers that I sometimes use. You've seen me use them, if I can find them. Might be in the drawer, let's have a look. And I'm going to try and put a new end. No, they're not them. What I'm going to try and do is put a new... Fucking hell. I'm going to try and form a new end. I think they're in here somewhere. You know, it annoys me, I've got two pairs of the fucking things. It really annoys me, I've got two pairs of them. I want one, I can't fucking find them. Shite. They're on the bench somewhere. Can't find them. Anyway, but I would like to find them. I'm going to look, because they're ideal for doing the job that I want to do. Right, they're not them, they're not them. They are the style of pliers, that colour handle. So they are on here somewhere. Yeah, there we go. Right, what I want to do now, I want to just put one turn. Just put one coil. I thought I'd have been able to get it a bit more rounder than that. Oops, don't want to lose it. There we are. Let's hold that with these pliers. See if I can hold that with these pliers. Move that over there a minute. And see if I can actually put a nice circle on that. Yep. Now all I have to do is straighten that out. Just straighten that back out. without snapping it. There we go. Let's just test fit that into our plastic bar. To our plastic lever, because it will go in that way and it's going to be super glued in, and I can trim the edge off once it's in there, but right, just a little bit of a burr on it there. There we go. Cut that little bit of a burr off. Now if I doesn't quite fit, so I just need to open it slightly. Because it's going to be super glued in anyway when it's finally in, but I need to get it to go where I need it to go to start with. I mean, you don't have to be too precise here. BSR never were. Now if I get me pliers, turn that to there, and let's make sure you can see what I'm doing. So zoom out a bit, there we go, you can see what I'm doing. So I need to measure that, just where that kink is. So if I bend it just there, a nice bend on that, push that through the hole, and that's what it should look like. Just hold it up, you probably can't see. That's what it should look like, and that's how it works. Now if I just get my pliers and just crimp that round if I can. Now let's put this back on, but without the, let's put this back on, which goes this way. It might be too short, but oh no, it doesn't go that way, it goes that way. Put that back on. Now put the lever, we'll call it the actuator. We'll put the actuator back in, because that's what it is. Now, drop that down into place. Now, there you go. And that's how it works. As this part here moves in, it pushes that like that. And that's how it works. So, take the actuator back off. Put the clip. Putting this spring back on is going to be a bastard. but putting that fucking clip box back on might be a bastard. Getting it. Oh, hang on. No, we're not quite ready yet, are we? We haven't secured it, have we? But we're happy with that. I'm certainly more than happy with it. And right. So what we need to do is just get a blob of super glue. And cut one of these cotton buds. There's no sense using a good one. Cut one off. There we go. Get some super glue on that. Let's just get me pin back out of me lever back out of here. I did a bit of research last night, and I discovered in my research so basically if you've got one of these that doesn't work, there we are. Leave that to dry, which shouldn't take long, and we just have a look and pull it through, make sure we're good and tight on the there. Yeah, we are. Right, well I'll leave that to dry and I'll be back in a couple of minutes. Right, well we're back. Our super glue will have dried. Just check it. Yeah. Right, so what we'll do now, we'll put this back on. What I'm going to do, I'm going to try and put it on and halfway and slide the spring on, and then clip everything in. This is a real pain in the arse. So we'll start with that end there, and it has to go under. I'm telling you folks, this is a real bastard to get back in, because it's so small and intricate. There we are, we're in that side. Now we have to get the other side into that side. Might be the easiest I've ever managed to fucking do it, actually. I've never done one of these decks before. Not this particular type of mechanism. Are we through there? I can't fucking see. No, we fuck. I'm trying to hold that there. Get that through. There we are. And now oh, you fucking lousy bastard, popped off. So I mean, it's not easy. It's not easy to fucking put back in. So we want that there. And then that there. Pop through there. You fucking lousy bastard. Pardon the language, folks, but I swear a lot. Right. It's because it's so thin. You know, there we are. It's just that it's so thin. That's popped out again. Let's try and get it in halfway on the shaft there. It's just that this is so fucking thin and delicate. There we go. Now if I push that onto the shaft, just put my finger on there, just there we are. Now let's get the fucking clip on while the getting's good. Let's get the fucking clip back on. So that clip there, that come up that it needs. Right. I'll tell you what. It's a bastard. Because we've got to get past that homemade spring I've put in, you see. No, that's the wrong clip. Fucker's too fucking big. It is that one. It is that one. There we are. It feels a bit on the fucking slack side. I know, let's pull that fucker back off. Feels a bit fucking stretched. And that's because it is. It's just, there we are. There we go. Right, that's our new piece of spring putting that we've just made, and this is working like it should. Now let's try it. So we'll put our actuator, for want of a better word, into there. Then we get our clip for our actuator. And that's not the right fucking hole for it. That one there is. Goes on the bottom. Oops. There we are. Right. Will it work or will it not? So let's hold that up out of the way, so because if that's down it jams everything up unless it stays even. So what we'll do, we'll automatic. When it moves it, moved it but it didn't move it up. Yet when I fucking do it by hand it does. There we are. Might have been because it was fucking flat. Try again. There we are. Yeah. What I'm going to do, I'm going to just to be cautious, I'm going to have that a bit nearer and bend it down slightly so it can't come over the top. because I think that's what he was doing. So let's try again. Yeah. And that's how it's supposed to work. You turn it, it flicks up. And then when it gets to the end of the records, when there's nothing left, the control arm comes down, lifts that up, because the control arm presses on, would you believe it or not, the control arm presses on that little bit of spring there, and then lifts it up and turns it off. See, and that just flicks up. When the control arm's held down, that flicks up, and if we go back on, we hold that down. There we are. Oh, there's another one for Donald. Another Donald for Donald. I'm going to give this a clean and a bit of a spruce up while I'm in here as well. But that's how you do them, folks. That's how them decks are fucking... that's how you repair that. And that'll probably last for another... That'll probably last for another fucking... Probably last for another fucking 50 years or something. I mean, BSR probably thought the design was good, and it probably was back in the day. But this deck is like a, what do you call it, innit? It's like a what's the word? A stopgap. I mean, to be honest, I think they should have kept this system rather than you having to manually select the size of the record. I thought this was a better way of doing it, to be honest. You know, because you know that little spring's not an issue. I mean, that's easy enough to repair. You know, but that's an easy fix. Just clean all this crap and gunk off. There we go. We'll just put a bit more crap and gunk on it now. Let's just empty that back in the bottle. Now, ran down the side a little bit. I have the same problem when I go to the toilet. I always miss. Right. So what we need to do now is, we don't need to really grease that because, you know, it's not going to cause any issue. Just saves it drying up again in fucking 20 or 25 years time, doesn't it? Get a bit on here. There we go. Just putting the grease back on where we've taken it off, really. And I'm not greasing the arm mount because I don't want any impedance. I don't want any sort of problem with the arm being able to move, and I lost a screw last night, and I'm hoping it's not an important one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1. Might have even been a clipper lost. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, and there's no clip in there, so obviously it was the clip I lost. But that's no problem because we got one here. Got a clip here that'll fit that, I think. If not, we'll find one. And there's the other connecting bar. So we need a clip for the connecting bar. We've got all that stuff. Don't worry about. We don't worry about losing clips here, do we, folks? No, we don't care about losing clips, because you know we've got plenty of them. I'm going to go and sort scraps out and give me his tea in a minute. First of all, I want to put all these fucking springs away. He's very impatient, my dog. He's not due for his tea till 6. And what time is it now? 10 to. By the time I put these springs away, it'll be time for his tea. But I don't fancy leaving all these springs on the bench. I've got the Dansette Bermuda. I keep not Bermuda Tempo. I keep threatening that, and I ain't got to it yet. So very next job is that Dansette. It's getting on the bench. It's coming on here tonight and getting done, regardless of what. Just fucking with Third World War, with World War III breaks out, that Dansette's still coming on the bench and getting done. And all right, I said in a minute. I said in a minute. You're a fucking pain at times. There you are. Yeah. You only want me when you want something. The only time you want me is when you're hungry. Don't see you any other time. I know. Yes, I know. I'm just putting my box of springs away. Yeah. Make sure I've not left any. Yeah, there's a couple here. Oh, look at all that lot. Alright, in a minute. In a minute, you've got 5 minutes to go. Give me time. I'd love to know where the other part of the spring went. That I would like to know. Anyway, folks, I'm gonna jib off and give him his tea. And I'll come back, we'll get this back together. See you in a minute. Hi folks, I'm back. I've just been out with Scraps, fed him and, well, fed him, been out with him. Oh, pardon me. And my glasses. There we go, got them. I've put the kettle on for a coffee. I'll go make that in a minute. And my hair's damp. Right. So basically it's just a matter of putting this back together, really. I'll just double check it works. Yeah. So let's wind it round. Oh, look at that, perfect. And of course, when a 12-inch record or 10-inch record hits it, it'll knock it down. And that's good. And that spring knocks it back. So we go automatic, arms fully back. Turn that, going the wrong way. Turn that, knocks it up. And then that comes back to there. And then that knocks that back to there. And, you know, well, I'll just give that a slight bit of a bend more, just to be safe. To make sure that it can actually knock it back every time. Bend that a bit further there, a bit down, there we go. There we go, let's try that. Yeah, yeah, perfect. Yeah. I could do with being down a bit though, it's a bit high. I don't want it above there, I want it down there, that's where I really want it. and then when this goes down here, it knocks it back anyway. And I'm going to actually give this here a service. Just give it a squirt of oil, that's all it needs. It doesn't have to be anything dramatic. A squirt of oil in there will do the job nicely. Just down the pivot pin. There we go. Wipe off the excess if we get to it in time. That's it. Yeah, give that a second to run down there. Wipe off the excess. There we go. There we are. And that's all that's there. The control arm, it's that. Which is... So all it does is it sat and pulls it back. Just wipe that off the excess there. Wipe that excess off. There we go. And that doesn't need any lubrication, it's plastic. But yeah, that works well, that. But that's all that does is just, it just moves that forward, and then, you know, when that comes down it kicks it back to there. That's all it does. Because when that's up for 7 inch, you want it up all the time until it's finished the cycle. Then when the control arm drops, it hits that spring and drops that back down. Like if a 10 inch record hits it, it drops it down and knocks it down, and if a 12 inch hits it, it knocks it down. So that's pretty much it. And what we can do now, we can start to reassemble it, put it back together. And I'm not going to put it back in that Ultra because I think that Ultra looks better with a black deck in it. So I'm going to leave that one in there and I'll use this. I am going to have to change the motor shaft though, because so this goes through, it goes in that way. This is how we do it, folks. How we do it, we just scratch your eye when it's itchy and we just jiggle it a bit. Getting that fucking Magidisc selector back in, that could be a bit of a fucking pain in the ass, because it goes in to the side, up the side of where the control arm goes in. And am I going to need 2 hands for the first time in putting a deck back together? Right, so, well, that's gone through where it should. So we're hanging up on the control arm and this fucking lever, the lift bar. That's where we're getting caught up on. Now we're caught up on the tone arm. Come on, go in there, you bastard. Come on. There we are. Oh, we're nearly down. We're not fully all the way yet. Let's put that in the... There we are. There we are. We're fully in. Right. Let's just check it from the top. We're happy. So, whoops. What we'll do, we'll get the screws back in. And these are all flathead screws. Slotted screws, if you like. And that's gone in not straight. It helps to have them in straight, and I won't put them all in fully tight yet, and the reason for that is because I I want everything to be. Let's turn the soldering iron on. I'm going to need to solder the pickup wires, the arm wires back to here. See, this is, I've got a plan. I've got a plan. I've got a plan. And like all the best laid schemes, this one, even this plan I've got in my head, is subject to revision. But I've got a plan. It involves this turntable and one of my amps. Just when I thought I was going to have to give up and consign this one to the spare parts, I worked out what it was. Yeah, we're still looking for the record deck to beat me, aren't we, folks? And none seem to have managed it so far. I mean, you all thought the JVJ shitter had got me, didn't you? But it didn't. Right, well, I'm pretty sure that was straight there. Nip it all up, and you don't want to overdo these. Only self-tappers. So you don't want to overdo these. You want to just around about snug. You don't need to swing on the screwdriver, and that one there I've already done. There. You don't need to swing on the screwdriver to tighten them. Now, let's put our control arm back in, which is here. Give it a quick wipe. There we go. La 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 lee, la dee dee. Put the control arm bottom back on. The clip on. Now the switch for the link back on for the switch that operates the mechanism. Am I going to be able to get that in there like that? Because it goes that way up. Does it? Yeah. I'm saying does it? I should fucking know. What I need to do is make sure that's in the off position. I can't get it in. There we are. Go. And this clip should fit here. Squeeze it in a bit. It's a bit fucking open that, because I have clips all over the place. But don't worry. Anyone who I repair a turntable for, don't worry. You get all your clips. Never leave anything off. There we are. I think that's the wrong size clip for that, but it'll do. It's gone on. If it pops off, it pops off. We'll get another one. Right. Now we did have a tone arm somewhere. And we also need turn that sort of to a point where I can see it. push that on. There we go. Because that actually grips this. I mean, this does screw in, but without that, it acts like a nylock. Acts like a nylock washer, if you like. Yeah. We all thought this was the deck that was going to beat Andy. Would help if I knew where the fucking tone arm was. Don't say it was that I fell on the floor last night. No, wouldn't I? Where the fucking hell's the arm? Fucking on here somewhere. Can you believe that? Can you believe that I lost the fucking... I'm not putting it, didn't throw it in the drawer, did I? No. Well, where the bastard hell's the arm gone? It's fucking here somewhere. Let's put this fucking grease and stuff out of the way. Put this grease away for now, because I don't need that yet. Because I'll be doing the tempo later. And I'll be... The first job on that will be to do the amp. As always, shift some of this stuff. Try and find that fucking arm. It might have fell on the fucking floor. Can't fucking see it on here. Wouldn't exactly say it was small. Where the fucking hell are you? Oh well. It would appear that I've mislaid my tone arm. How can you mislay a fucking tone arm? Jesus. It was on here. Huh. Probably fucking fell off. I'll have to find it. It is here somewhere. Just double check the drawer. I mean, oh, here it is. There it is. I moved it. There it is. I found it. That's a. Well, that'd be me. Fucking hell. Well, that'd be me out of the business for good, wouldn't it? If word got about that I'd actually mislaid a tone arm, you know, people would worry in case they got it back with no arm on it. Alright, let's twist these together and feed them through the back. Pull it through along with the sheathing, the plastic sheathing we'll call it, for the purpose of the... Give that a clean, there we go. There we are. Now where's my little nut? Because the nut also acts as a spacer as well. Now this should just find its own way now. Right. Hold it there this time so I don't do any damage. see through there. Oh no, I'm not happy with that. No, I'm not. No, we're not. That's a bit loose there. There we go. Sure. That's it. Yep, perfect. Now, I'm not worried about bumping this about because I've got the stylus guard on it, so we're okay. So what I'll do now, make sure that all the wires are out of the way. Yeah. Sort that out in a second. I'll just get the cloth, wipe the inside, wipe the turntable, and especially the drive drum, or the inside rim as some people call it. It can be called both, it's not a problem. There we go. Right. The thing's down like it should be. So how come that's not moving out? How come that's not moving out? It is that way. But well, that's weird. Well, that's strange. Looks like I've got to pull it all fucking back apart again. Because that... nothing to do with the speed mechanism. So why is that not pushing that? Why is that not pushing that? Oh, I think I know why. The springs come off. Yeah, how about that, folks? And just to think, is there any way I can get that back on without taking it all apart again? I bet there ain't. Well, actually, I think there is. Yeah, there is. I've got to take the push pad off. So how about that? So I've got to take the push pad off. No great problem. What was that? A message or... Very funny. Yeah, very funny. I don't know you. I can't remember your name. Let's go back to the message. Let's go back to the comment. Can't remember your name. Is it Theo Bovril? Very funny, mate. Yeah. You just left a comment. Yeah. I thought when you went off screen, Andy, that you'd gone to get your exerciser. Hence expecting to hear a lot of grunts and groans in the process. No, I only make grunts and groans when I'm shagging. See you later. There we go. Right. Let's get the push pad off. Oh, hang on. I thought I had to wind it on to get this released. I don't. See, I'm not used to this mechanism, folks. I'm really not. This is out of my comfort zone. But I'm learning about it. You know. Oh, you won't catch me doing that exercise shite. Well, I'm gonna do it for a laugh, but. Just hook that onto that tag board for a minute. Right, I've never done one of these push pads. I hope nothing fucking falls off that shouldn't. Right, and this spring is just a matter of pushing it back on. So lift the push pad out. Hang on a minute. Oh, he's in Downing Street today, isn't he? Old Trumpy bum. There we go. Lift the push pad out of the way. Turn it over. And that spring. Now let's see where that fucking spring fucking goes. Let's just lift that over out of the way. There we go. So when we pull the lever, I don't know how the fuck this fucker popped out, but it did. Don't know how the fuck that pops out. But just shows you, folks. You know? It just shows. You can think you've got it all sussed, and really, you're just jerking off. You think you've got it all there and you haven't. So I need to just get in, you fucking lousy bastard. Don't know how the fuck that came out of there. I'm having a fucking joke getting the come back in. There we are. There we are. Now when you hit the switch, there we go. Right. Now, put the fucking push pad back in. Right. Come off. Come off, you've gone down the fucking... Come off. That that's there, that spring's on, that's right. We need to lift that off of me. Okay, now put that back under there, that there. Oh, hang on, the fucking cycling gear isn't even in. Now, I just came out without taking the cycling gear off. So basically, it should go back in without taking the fucking cycling gear off. Just check that we're engaged. Yeah. Then this, because that moves that along there. So let's get that fucking big fucking clip back on. Yeah. Yeah, someone expected me doing a bit of exercising. Yeah, no way. Yeah, well I will actually, but up 1, 2, down 1, 2, then the other sock. That locks that into there. Hang on, I forgot to put a fucking clip on somewhere. I have, yes, I forgot to put a clip on. There we go. There we go. Then I failed to see what this piece of metal here does, but it must do something. It's there for a reason. There we go. Let me show you. Yep. Now, just the most awkward part of it. Putting this fucking spring back in. These can be a bastard to get in. Because it has to go. Usually the best way of getting these in is with the push pad off, but I've neglected. I've elected to do it this way. Okay, now you can get it in this way, but it's easier. There we are. Feed that in there. And then I think I might have gone the fucking wrong way, to be honest. Let me just have a look. I'll just cross-reference it. I always like to remember where that string goes. So it goes that way and that way and that way and that way. Yeah. That way and that way, and then just clip it in there. Now Should we forget that that little spring ever fell off in the first place and try again? Right. Now, let's cycle the mechanism once so the centre spindle can clip into place. There we go. Now if I turn it round so that you can all see it, what you're looking at is a little white pip there, right? Operate the mechanism. We're simulating we've got a 7-inch single on the turntable, so we'll turn there, see it pop up for the 7-inch position. And when you drop a 10-inch on it or a 12-inch, I haven't got a 10-inch. Well, I have, but it's in my trousers. Go up. Oh, I can't use that. That's a fucking big fucking. That's me fucking. What do you call it? Disc. Right. So basically, we'll knock that down again. We'll knock that into off. Speed's irrelevant. There's no motor. So we'll put a 12-inch on. Yeah. It drops down. It goes to where it should do. And then it comes off. Goes to the end. And on a 10-inch disc, a 10-inch record, it'll knock it down, go to 10-inch. And on the 7-inch, it flicks up and goes to 7. There we go, folks. And I can put the clip on because I don't need the turntable off again because the bracket for the motor's already there. So, there you have it. That is how you sort out. And when the control arm goes down, we're still in the 7-inch position, look. But watch what happens when you drop the control arm. I'll turn it around so you can see it. If you watch what happens, there, it falls down. And operate the automatic mechanism, it pops up and then down. There. Okay. If I can get this to a better position, there we go. See it pop up, down, and that's it. But when we're up, it will stay up, because that's what we want it to do. We're playing singles. And then down, record ends, pops up, down, back up and down. And that's how it works, folks. That is how you repair the size detector for 7-inch on the A13, the BSR A13 a record deck. And anything with this, any BSRs with this white pip works the same way, I believe. Now, I could be tempted to put this back in that Ultra, but I'm not going to. The reason why I'm not going to, because I think the Ultra looks better with the black deck, and I've already got it up for sale. So it's already listed on Marketplace with that deck in it, so that can stay as is. Now, all I've got to do next, and I might as well do it now, put my wires back. There wasn't one for these, for this side. It all went under this tape here. There we go. It went under, and then these wires came up here. But that tape seems to have lost its... Am I really going to fuck about with that? Am I fuck? Right. So what we do now, we just... What we can do, we can solder the black and the yellow to the same point, because it goes to the same point on here. Then we can solder the white. Solder the green. There we go. Then we can solder the red. There we are. There we go. I don't see the point in fucking about this piece of tape. It's not got to stick. It might just go back on. There we go. Now, okay. I'll find another piece. Do that clean and find another piece. And there we go, folks. Well, that is how you repair the 70. See, I was having to do that by hand, and I thought, well, the average, that can't be right, because the average person wouldn't know that, would they? I mean, Joe Bloggs on the street wouldn't know that, you know. So, one more test. There we are, see it flick up. And then down. Yeah. There we go. Am I as happy as a pig in shit? You better believe it. I've just managed to fix this. And that's another one under my belt, and that'll go into another record player. It's got a cartridge in it, go into another record player. I've already got a use. I think I might already have a use for it, but you know, I'm not taking that. I mean, I've got to open the Ultra up again anyway, because I need the. I need the motor shaft, because it's got 16 RPM on it. The original record, the record deck that's in that, there's only a 3-speeder, so I've got to quickly get the motor, got to quickly pull the motor back out to get that off. But other than that, this is done and ready to go. Thanks for watching, folks. More to come later. Bye for now.